Good afternoon. This is a message from Neil Sanders, principal here at Taylor County Middle School. Wanted to discuss, as you all are well aware, that we will be switching to distance learning for all of our students in the coming weeks for a minimum of 2 weeks. At that point, our district administration will meet again to reevaluate whether that will continue or what our next steps will be. I do want to thank you all for your continued patience and flexibility through these changes and unforeseen circumstances. So I do appreciate that collaboration with you on that. First of all, before we get into some of the specific changes, I want to go over a couple of announcements that are still scheduled for this week. First of all, we had an ESS that is scheduled for our distance learners on Friday, this Friday, from 1 to 3 in the library. That will continue and be scheduled as normal. So we will still have that tomorrow for those students from 1 to 3 in our library. Also, student report cards will be mailed home next week. We will mail all of our student report cards out, so be looking for those coming next week. Our first 9 weeks has ended. That ends tomorrow. So please encourage and continue to encourage your child to get missing and caught up work done for the first 9 weeks. Okay, now I'm going to be going over our distance learning plan and what that entails. The changes are minimal, but I do want to address and hopefully clarify some questions that you may have as it pertains to our distance learning plan. This is a form that's going to be on our website as well as our district social media. We will have both of our schedules linked, and I'm going to get into this in just a second. The first group that I want to address and go over the logistics for are our students that have been coming to classes in person. So our first group will be our new distance learners, if you will. These distance learners will begin for everyone on Wednesday, November the 4th. But the first group will be the group of students that have been coming to classes in person on our AB format currently. First of all, there will be no changes to your current schedule, so there'll be no schedule changes for those students. Please continue with your current teachers and those Google Classrooms. Google Meet times will reflect the current Bell schedule and remain on our AB format. So I want to share a different form with you. This also is on our middle school website. This is our new Bell schedule that we have been in while we have started our AB format. So Google Meet times will reflect this exact same schedule. Nothing changes with that. For example, Sanders, I would be attending my formal Google Meets on Tuesday and Thursday. For example, if I were a last name Cox, I would be attending those formal Google Meets on Monday and Wednesday. Now, in the event that your child is unable to make it one of those 2 days, he will also be able to join that Google Meet on a different day. For example, for myself, a Sanders, on a Tuesday and Thursday, if I knew I was going to be unable to make my formal meet on Thursday, I could jump on Wednesday to grab that lesson from that teacher. So the meets will be available every time, but we do ask that you join the formal Google Meets twice weekly, as we have been doing here with our in-person learning on our AB format. Again, all of these documents are on our website. Our Success Lab time. This is reflected in IC for 7th period, that Success Lab time. The premise of this class will not change. That's going to be used for homework help. All of our teachers will be available during this time via Google Meets for any of our students that need to hop on for clarifications as it pertains to their student work or any questions that they have pertaining to their homework or assessments. For our current distance learners, so these are our students that, and I'm going to come back to this document, and we have these segregated. For our current distance learners, these are students that have been distance learning for the entire school year or distance learning through this 9 weeks and continue to stay distance learning after this 9 weeks. For those students, there will be no changes. There will be no changes to your current schedule either. You also need to continue with your current teachers and those Google Classrooms, so all of those codes will not change. Your Google Meet times will also remain the same. So for all of our students that are in distance learning and have been in distance learning and had planned on continuing to be a distance learner, regardless of this recent change, there will be no changes to your meet times and schedule. share a different document for those students. Again, these have been our full-time distance learners. This document was shared on our website for your schedule for that group of students, and it also has all of the class times and the supports for you. I know you all have homework help times. Again, those are used for the same thing as our Success Lab, and all of the Google codes are on this form, and this is also on our website. So I did want to share those things. Some other things that I wanted to share very quickly. For those students, we do have a small group of students. For those students that have requested to return to in-person learning, we'll receive communication by our office staff by tomorrow by 3 o'clock. So we do have some students that had indicated this week that they wanted to return to in-person. And again, all of those students and their families, you all will receive communication from our office staff to discuss your new schedule and answer any questions that you have. So I did want to communicate that to that group of students. Some additional supports while in our distance learning. ESS, this will be the scope for next week for ESS. We're going to have an ESS session on Friday, November 6th from 1 to 3, and we will have a Saturday ESS session, November 7th from 8 to 12. Both of those will be housed in the middle school library. Both will be scheduled by appointment with students with failing grades. If you would like your child to improve their grades outside of a failing grade, please contact Kathy Matney at 270-465-2877, and her extension is 31270. Our food service staff will continue to provide meals weekly to our students, as we did at the beginning of the school year while we were in our distance learning. Next week, there will be no food deliveries made. I want to make that note. Meal pickups are available tomorrow and the next Friday at Taylor County High School's campus. While in distance learning, small groups will be available for specific student services and their needs, just as we did previously to start the school year. Individual staff members will contact you to set up those small group times. Our youth service center is still available for any of our students or families that are in need. Please contact April Melton, and her extension is 31180. And again, you would call our front office at 465-2877. As always, if you have any questions, please contact the front office or contact your child's teacher directly. Thank you and have a blessed day.